Okay, welcome guys. This is a new backtesting video for the AltAlgo indicator. I have made one in the past, but this one is more focused on the newest version, which is 6.5 at the time of this recording. And I will explain you in this video how to set up the indicator. I will explain the different functions and how to set up a good or decent backtesting configuration, so that you also have the information to make your own configuration and your own channels to trade with the AltAlgo indicator. So first of all, we add it to the chart, which you can find here, indicators, and then probably in your invite only scripts, and then you can see AltAlgo on the top. When we add it, there will be some default values that are loaded, which are here. The power is 100 and the take profits are just as seen here. I have chosen for this video, I've chosen the Elrond coin, so Elrond USDT, and the 30-minute time frame. You can use any coin and any time frame, but I have made this configuration not that long ago, so I want to show you how I got to this result. Before we get into it, I want to say that the order of finding the configuration and putting the parameters that I will show you here is completely my own approach, meaning there are maybe 100 or 1,000 different approaches to the indicator, but just to have some clarity for you, I would like to show you mine, which I have used over and over again to find some decent configuration every time. This is not the holy grail approach. There are many approaches. I have also seen users put completely different parameters than me, and they also have very nice setups. So really the sky is the limit, and it's up to you how to approach it. Okay, so before we start to get into the configuration, it is for you to choose a take profit strategy. So in this case, the default is set on 4 take profits, right? 25% each, and with these default values. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can also use 1 take profit, you can use 2 take profits. That is completely up to you. But I suggest to choose this take profit strategy before you start making the configurations. So do I want to take 2 take profits and put here 50-50 and the rest 0? That's possible. Do I want to take only 1 take profit just to be sure that 100% is closed on the take profit 1? That is also possible. So please decide your own take profit strategy before you make a configuration, because this is important for the rest of the configuration. Okay, let's get into it. So I have written down here an order that I usually follow to find a configuration. So the first step for me is to search the power value. The power value is the first parameter here, and it kind of defines the sensitivity of the indicator. So how fast it will open trades and how sensitive it is to the price action. So I have put here a range of 1 to 150. This is completely depending on the time that you have available, right? If you have the whole day, you can go in steps of 1, like 1, 2, 3, and so forth. But if you don't have much time, you can choose to go in steps of 5 or 10 or even more. But of course, the chance of finding that sweet spot of the configurations is also smaller. In this example, I will go in steps of 10. And actually 1 is a little bit too sensitive, so I will start from 20 here, just for the sake of the video. And we'll see how the price reacts and how the setup results. Okay, 50 is already getting decent. We are at 74% net profit. And then we can advance to step 2. So step 2 is finding a moving average. Actually, the default moving average is 200 and it's enabled. So you can choose to search the power with or without the moving average enabled. I have done here with. And I can also find something more in the range of 100 maybe, but you can choose any moving average. Okay, so for the value of 100, we see that our net profit is a bit better, but the overall setup has not increased too much. But let's, for the sake of the video, again leave it at 100. It's decent. Then step 3, after we have found a decent moving average, we go into check the super trend. So the super trend is enabled here, and it is default put on the time frame of the chart, which is in this case 30 minutes. Usually I put the multiplier and the ATR period at 1 and 1. Again, this is my personal approach. I have seen members even put the value of 600 or 700 in the ATR period. That works. They have found a good setup with that, depending on the coin and the time frame. So as I said, 1, 700, 500, it's possible. It all depends on how you approach the setup. Okay, so after doing that, we can check the time frames that are higher than 30 minutes. So let's go in steps of 1 for now, because maybe we can find one that is close to 30. 31. Wow, it is a very good improvement. We went from below 100% profit to 224 just by using the super trend. Let's check 32. Okay, 32 is even better. So for the sake of the video, let's not go higher and leave it at 32. After that, you can also play around with these multipliers to increase it a little bit. Just a few steps I would suggest, because you can quickly see whether it goes up or not. So you can see that it gets better. Again more, 275. And let's go down again. So 1.2 was kind of the sweet spot. So let's leave it at that. Then after we have done the super trend, we go to the next step, which is the alt filters. We have two alt filters who have the exact same function. At some setups I use both, at some I don't. That depends a little bit on the coin and the time frame. So let's start with 2. Okay, kind of the same. Okay, still kind of the same. It's not moving much. Okay, it's going down kind of. So 2 was the best, I think. Let's leave it at 2. Then we could also try to enable the second one and start with the value that is different from the first one. So in this case 3. So let's see if we can increase the profit from 270. Okay, not much. Let's try 4. Okay, it seems to go down. So let's disable this one and just keep the 2. So a remark about these two alt filters here. So the closer these values are together, the more trades are allowed, and the further they are apart, the less trades are allowed, right? So if this is 2 and this is 10, there will be fewer trades allowed than if this is 2 and this is 4, right? Okay, so we have done the alt filters. Then we go to trailing. So maybe our setup works well like this, but maybe even better if we trail the stop loss. So let's try that first. So we move the break even on the take profit 1. Usually this results in lower profits, but maybe better percentage profitable or profit factor. Now here, as you can see, it's kind of the same, not improving much. So what about on take profit 2? Okay, on take profit 2, the profit factor increases, but the net profit is going down. So I think in this setup we better not use trailing for now. Maybe we can enable that again later. Okay. So after we have done the trailing, in this case we will not use it. We are going to fine-tune the take profit and the stop losses. But before doing that, I think it's a good idea to go over the power again. Why? We have calibrated the power in steps of 10 and we came to 50, and we continued to check our other parameters. But maybe there is some close values near 50 that are even better. We don't know because we haven't checked them. So let's check first down of 50. So let's see 49. We're going to go more precise now. Okay, kind of similar. As you can see, a huge improvement. We went from 270 to 330, so that's good. Let's go down again, and then it goes down again. So 48, let's see 46, but 48 was the best one for now. Okay, and then it goes down again. So let's leave 48 for now, yeah. When I have changed this, you can also go check this again, but like I said, again, everything depends on the time you have available. If you want to just leave it at 2 and continue for the next part, you can do that, but I'm going to try anyway, who knows. Okay, we got a slightly better result as well. So let's leave that at 3. Okay, so now we are kind of, we have this general uptrend with a little bit of pullbacks. So we're going to try improve that now in our next step, which is the take profits and the stop loss. So we have the default values here. What is our intention with these values? We try to increase the take profits as much as we can without decreasing the setup, the results here too much, and we try to decrease the stop loss as much as we can. So that means that the risk reward ratio increases. That's our ultimate goal here, right? Okay, so let's see in steps of 0.5 first, yeah? So let's do 1.5. We were at 366%. Okay, 385, that's good. Let's see for 2. 2 we are at 400. Let's leave it at 2 for now because we're already at this take profit 2 value as well. Okay, so do the same with the shorts. 1.5. 431, that's nice. Let's see 2. 457, that's nice. Okay, so now we do this one. 2.5. Let's take 2.5. Okay, we are increasing as well. We're already above 500%. So whenever you increase take profits, you also have to keep an eye on the percent profitable and the profit factor, because if you increase your take profits too much, these will go down because we will hit the take profits less often, right, in the overall configuration, because the higher the take profits, the less often you will hit them, which means the accuracy goes down. Then in the opposite, when you take the take profits too low or very low, you will have more accuracy but less take profit. So this is a trade-off that you have to think about before making a configuration. Okay, so 3, let's leave it at 3. Then go with this one, 3.5. Okay, so you see that the profit factor is increasing and we also get more profit, so we are fine and we're safe to increase the take profit even more, hopefully. Okay, then we saw that the net profit and the profit factor actually went down, so it's better in this case to leave it at 3.5 and maybe later to make it even more accurate. But okay, we're going up even more. Let's try 4. And then we go down again. So again, also here, leave it at 3.5. Then we are at the last take profit, the fourth one here. So we can also do the same. Try to put it at 5.5. See what happens. We are also going up again. We're already at 570%. Okay, that's good. Let's try 6. Profit factor is 1.5. Okay, it's down a bit, but let's see at 6.5 what happens. Okay, even, yeah, not much gains or kind of the same. So I think 5.5 was the sweet spot here. So do the same for shorts. And we go up again. Good. Let's try 6. And we go up again, even above 600% already. So let's try 6.5. Of course, the short take profit is can obviously be taken higher here, because most of this period that we are backtesting, we were in a bear market, so the shorts have won from the longs, obviously, right? So let's even try 7 here. As you can see, it's even keep going up, so let's try 7.5 even to reach very high profits there on the last take profit. Okay, it goes down again, so let's keep it at 7. This is already a very good one for shorts. Then, as we have tried to increase the take profits as much as we could, or without breaking or decreasing the setup, we're now going to reduce the stop losses as much as we can. So let's also try in steps of 0.5. So 3.5. Okay, so this has 3.5 is not that good because the net profit is decreasing, but let's see at 3, because the lower the stop loss, the less losses we have when hitting stop loss. So maybe 3 or even lower might get better. We'll see. As we can see, it's going down quite a lot. We already down at to 560%. Profit factor is similar. Yeah, okay, now it's down a lot. So the best was actually at 4. Because I think stop loss decreasing is very important, more important than increasing take profits. I usually aim for steps of 0.1 in the stop losses. So we were at 4, so let's go in steps of 0.1 to see 3.9. As you can see, 683 just by reducing 0.1. Let's go down again, and then it's down again. But let's see at 3.7. So 3.9 was the winner for now. So let's keep it at 3.9, guys. Then we do the same with the stop loss for the shorts. So we start in steps of 0.5 to see if that brings something. As you can see, that was a huge improvement. Just 0.5 less for the stop loss, and we are up almost 200% in net profit, guys. So as you can see here, the stop loss reducing is quite has quite an impact. So let's try 3, and it's down again. So the sweet spot seems to be 3.5, but we're gonna try to reduce it again in steps of 0.1. So from 3.5 we're going to 3.4. Let's load 3.5 first. Okay, so this is 840%. So 3.4 gives us, okay, 3.4 is not much difference. Let's try 3.3. 3.3 is quite down again. Okay, so 3.5 seems to be the sweet spot. So the take profits have been defined in steps of 0.5 mostly. We could go even more accurate and squeeze more profit out of this configuration if we would define these even more accurate. But this is again depending on the time you have available, and I will not do this to not make the video too long. Then we go back to our schedule here. I have done TP and take profit and stop loss. So there is one remaining, which is sessions. So we have enabled all the days here. So maybe this coin is not very tradable on certain days. So we can increase the profit even more by disabling the days where this coin is not so good to trade, right? That's possible. So I think here we can go over every day. Just it's not that many, it's just 7. So just to see if we can really find the sweet spot here. Yeah? So disabling Monday, we were at profit of 840%, and it's almost half. So Monday is a very good day to trade because it's gaining a lot of profit. So let's keep that enabled. Let's see for Tuesday. As we can see, disabling Tuesday, the profit factor is increasing. The profit is a bit down, and you can see that actually the graph is more favorable. The graph is getting better. So Tuesday is a potential day to disable, but let's first check the others. Disabling Wednesday is reducing profits quite a lot, so let's keep that enabled. Then Thursday. Thursday is not bringing much improvement either, so disabling it, I mean. So let's keep it enabled. Let's see for Friday. Friday, same story, not bringing much improvement or decrease either, so let's keep that enabled. Saturday also doesn't change much, so let's try Sunday then. And Sunday is reducing the overall results a lot. So Sunday is actually an important day for trading this because it's bringing us a lot of profits, so for sure we leave it enabled. So the best one to disable is actually Tuesday. So now we have done these 7 steps, and we are actually at a possible decent configuration to trade. As you can see, there are some pullbacks, but they're always the losses are always gained back if you leave it running for several trades after. So eventually we always going up. Of course, you cannot win every trade, so this is normal. So as we have gone over all of these settings, it is also possible to again fine-tune it, which means we go over some parameters again to really fine-tune it to the best possible configuration, let's say. But again, this is too long for this video, so I will do that now, but I will speed up the process so eventually you can see what improvements I made. Okay. So as you can see, those changes are small, but they can deliver quite positive results. So I have reduced this to 47 from 48. This I have not changed. Then the multiplier was 1.2. I changed it to 1.3. Also, I have eventually see that the trailing on take profit 2 has given me better results. Then as you can see here, I also have changed my take profit strategy from 4 take profits into 3. Sometimes when you have 4 take profits and a few of them are quite close to each other, it's better to go to a 3 take profit strategy. So eventually I found out that these are my ideal values, so I fine-tuned it with an accuracy of 0.1. And also the stop losses I was able to reduce a little bit more. Then also my moving average I had at 100, and I was able to improve to get to 106. That seems to be more ideal, and it gives me better results. Okay. Also, I have eventually disabled another day except for Tuesday because that also gave me better results, and also still a good amount of trades. So we avoid Tuesday and Thursday with this configuration. After going through this process, you should be able to find a decent configuration. It all depends on the time you have available. You can go through this process several times, 10 times even if you want. It will give you better results, but it all depends on the time you have available, which I have said many times in this video. So I have gone through this setup with you, and as you can see, the length of this video is already enough to have a decent configuration. But now I want to go into a little bit what this result means, right? Because the backtest window has many parameters here. So what do they mean? Okay. So let's first look at net profit. So net profit is actually the profit that we gain from this configuration, trading it from the very first trade here until the very last trade here. This is accumulated net profit. So that means without leverage, we would have gained 784%. So if you trade this with 10 times leverage, you would have gained 7,840%, right? So the net profit on TradingView is always without leverage. Okay. So how many trades have we closed? We have closed 615 trades. That means TradingView sees every take profit as a trade. So actually, if you want to know how many trades we have opened and closed from buy and sell, you have to divide this number by the amount of take profits you have. So we have 3 here. So basically we have opened around 200 trades. 600 divided by 3, 200. So we have 200 trades that have 3 take profits. But TradingView calculates every take profit as a trade. Then the percentage profitable here, we are at 62.6%. So that means of all the trades we have done, 62.6 are profitable. Now, is that good? I think with the current risk-reward ratio, which is around 1 to 2, I think that's good. That means we're profitable. And then eventually that gives us a profit factor of 1.87, which is above my requirements. So this is also good. The drawdown is a little bit over 15%, but still acceptable. I think in the average trade is about 1.23%. When you understand these values and from experience, you always keep an eye on them when going through your configuration. There's so many variables in trading that you need to keep an eye on several at the same time. Okay, so I think this configuration is now clear. For the settings here, I have not gone through the ADX and the market structure parameters here, because I think that's a little bit out of the scope of this video, and also these are actually functionalities that were added upon user requests. Okay, so what is overfitting? Overfitting is actually when you try to find a result that is too good. For example, I have seen users who have submitted, I also did that in the past, who have submitted configurations that are like 90% profitable and only have like 100 trades or less over a period of 1 year or several months. That is very nice, but personally I don't think that is very future-proof. Why? Because you have not enough trades to have a robust and consistent configuration, less accuracy and more trades, so you take in more data into your configuration compared to less trades and very high accuracy. But again, this is something you should decide personally. I can only give you my advice, what works for me. Okay guys, so the end of the video. Glad you made it here. I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's not really a secret, it has been mentioned in the group many times, but maybe for new members they haven't seen that in the chat, so I'm telling you now. There is something called an auto tester. So the auto tester is actually an extension for Chrome, which is developed by a third party, so it's not from AltSignals. But it's very useful to auto test indicators. For example, here I have loaded also the AltAlgo on a DDX chart 40 minutes. When you open this, you have the same values as we have seen before. And then there's this extension, right? I've loaded it here. It's called TradingView Strategy Finder. You will find the link in the description. So what this extension can do is actually it can test certain parameters of your indicator automatically without you having to change the values one by one. This is very useful because you can just let your computer running while you do other things, and then it will search for a good configuration. So I will not make this too long because there's many tutorials on this from the developer themselves. First of all, we go into settings and we enable these two here because I want to see my drawdown as well and my number of trades. I usually search on net profit only. Okay, so once we have that set up, we push save, and then here we can change to search a coin. So for example, in this case, I want to search the DDX coin, and here we can search certain time frames. So for example, I put a whole list of time frames here from 33 to 40. So that means the extension will go through every time frame to search to go through the power values for me, because here I've selected field 1. Field 1 is in this case the field here. So actually these fields represent the fields in the indicator that have up and down arrows, so numeric fields, yeah, numerical fields. So in this case the first field is the power. So I've chosen to choose the first field in steps of 1 and between a value of 1 and 120. So that means that when I start this extension will go first to the 33 minute time frame. It will change the field 1, which is the power, in steps of 1 from 1 to 120. So in the 33 time frame, it will search 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 120 for the power value. When that cycle is completed, it will do that for the 34 minute time frame, and so on until 40 minutes. So when I do that, I will get a whole list of results. I will put it on here for a moment. Okay, so now I've stopped it, and as you can see, the first line came in the 33 minute time frame. It has found a net profit of 34%, drawdown of -20, and 527 trades. But it hasn't completed the cycle, right? I've stopped it before it completed just to show you guys. So when all these time frames are run through, there will be a whole list here, like this line, but several lines with the results, and from that one you can just click this one and it will load the most optimal config that it has found through that cycle. So personally, this extension I use every day to search the optimal power value of a certain time frame of a certain coin, and I only let the auto tester find the power value. After that, I do the rest manually, because if you put in too many combinations where you say like, okay, I want to test another field of the indicator and I want to test another field, you will have an exponential increase of time, and it will take you ages before you have a result. So I usually only keep it at one field, which works best for me, and you can get results in an hour or less. So what are the pros of using this extension? I think it's obvious. You don't need to sit in front of your computer, and you can let it run until a good result is found. What are the cons? First of all, it's subscription based, so you have to pay another service. Second of all, it's testing your TradingView account a lot. So eventually, if you run this extension too much in the same day or days after each other or week or whatever, you might get blocked by TradingView. This has happened to some users in the VIP group. I personally never had it because I don't let it run 24/7, maybe only a few hours per day. So if you use it wisely and not too often, it will not give you problems, but just be careful with that because you don't want to get your account banned, right? Okay. This was a little bit outside of the scope of this video, but I wanted to show you anyway because I use that every day and it makes life easier for me, so why not for you as well? About the compatibility of configurations. So this one is made on Elrond 30 minutes. It probably won't work on any other coin because this is very specifically made for Elrond and the 30-minute time frame. Every coin moves completely different. Of course, they all have some kind of trend related to Bitcoin, but they individually move different. So to find one config that fits all, this is not going to be possible. So you will need some adjustments for the next coin or the next time frame, right? So basically, it's better to always start from scratch and go through my setup here or your own routine to get the best possible result. Okay guys, so for the conclusion of this video, we have gone through the whole process of finding a decent configuration by doing these 7 steps that I've shared with you. I also explained what the values in the backtesting window mean and where you can put some requirements for yourself. And then also, I repeat again, depending on the time you have available, you can spend as much time as you want to find really a very good config, or you can just keep it basic and say, okay, this is enough for me. And for those who don't have time or don't want to sit in front of the computer doing this, you can use the auto tester as I have recommended. But I also have highlighted the cons of using that, right? So please be careful, don't get your TradingView account banned. Use it wisely. So if you have any questions, please send me a message on Telegram or any of the other stuff. Send us a message. We will guide you. We will help you. And please also share your setups when you have made them so everyone can learn from it. Okay guys, thanks a lot and see you in the next one. Bye bye.